All right, family. Once again, it's on with the general. We're gonna be talking about an explosive situation going on over there in the Persian Gulf, the Strait of Hormuz with the United States, the Israelis, Iran, and a whole lot of other nations. It's more than just the three nations. There's a whole lot of other nations over there getting attacked also. And so Iran vows to set fire to American troops if they invade. If they invade. And so that's a strong message that's being sent to the United States. And I think they taking heed. you know, I think that they taking heed because number one, if you go in, you're gonna have to go full throttle. You're gonna have to throw everything you got at them to destroy them and crush them as quickly as possible. And I don't believe the United States got the wherewithal to do that, because they were just foisted into the situation. It really was no build up, it wasn't no massive build up to the situation, where, there had been attacks and, on the United States or things or devastating attacks. Normally it would take devastating attack for people to start a war like that, to go in there and do what they doing. Number one, you would think that they had sunk a damn aircraft carrier or something. But they saying that Iran is trying to get a nuclear weapon. Now, for a lot of people, for me, it's not hard to believe. You see, it's not hard for me to believe that they trying. Why wouldn't they want one? You see, why wouldn't Iran want a nuclear weapon? So it's not hard for me to believe that. And so they say they got to go in there and they're gonna have to do damage to the regime, to the military facilities, and so on to keep the Iranians from successfully creating a nuclear bomb. A lot of people will say that they don't believe that Iran can hit the United States of America. I don't know, you get to see, but that's the thing about war is to play stupid and to play, to play the lesser. Even if you strong, you don't play your hand until it's time to play your hand. You see, now from my understanding, they said that they launched missiles towards Diego Garcia, which is an island down in Indian Ocean. It was controlled by the British, and the United States rented a military base on that island where they B-52 bombers, B-2 bombers was stationed on that island, and they saying that Iran hit the island. I'm not sure if they did or if they didn't. But when the thing is, when I saw when they went over there the first time and they attacked Iran, it was for me. I say, dude, Iran must don't have advanced, guidance systems. It seemed to me as if they were just launching them. You know what I'm saying? Really, no means to, put it on a target for real. So for me, it felt like that they were just launching missiles towards Israel, and wherever it hit, But this time around, they were much more strategic. You see, they was hitting things on precision. You see the bomb, the military bases, the oil facilities, and all of that. They was putting it on the bullseye. So for me, it showed me that they had advanced. That they got a more advanced, a system of pinpointing exactly where guidance systems that can guide them missiles exactly where they supposed to be, and that's crucial. That's crucial. And so a lot of people didn't believe that Iran had the capabilities to shoot that far to Diego Garcia. That was almost more than half the distance that most countries believe the capabilities of the Iranians had. But it tricked them, it tricked them. And I seen one of the military bases in Saudi Arabia where they had bomb planes, United States planes. Yeah, they had taken out 2, 3, 4 of them on the runway over there. So they ain't just, no what people believe. They've been developing on the low key. They've been developing on the low key, and so they more advanced than what people think they. Now, a lot of people say, "Oh, Iran can't hit," but North Korea can. North Korea can. Yeah, they didn't build up. Nah, they didn't build up. At first, they didn't have nothing. They had something, but they wasn't in, and they still fumbling, but somebody helped them to get the missiles. Now, either with China, it was Russia, and they're going to do the same thing with the Iranians. So, after they blow it up, the thing is China probably willing to go right on in there, and Russia too, especially China, because China got a bigger, infrastructure than Russia, that they could go right on in there and rebuild it. And they probably have Iran in their hip pocket if they do it, because, it's going to cost to rebuild all those, facilities that were bombed, but China is willing to go in there for the sake of oil and, because they need it. You see, they need it. And so that's very, when you think about what the United States has done as far as attacking Iran, that was a mistake. That was literally, I say it was a mistake, but if they was building the bomb, it wasn't a mistake. But I believe it put the United States in the predicament where they should have went on in there, and if you got to go in there and hit them, then you should make sure you finish the job by getting rid of their ass. Other than that, you didn't attack and left a wounded dog that's over there, and all they thinking about right now is revenge. That's all they thinking about is revenge. And so a lot of people don't understand and talking about they can't hit the United States. Iran is about terrorism. So y'all is foolish. They ain't got to necessarily hit it with no damn intercontinental ballistic missile. They'll get some of these just like 9/11. They'll strap something on their back and bring with them. So you don't know what they'll do. So you have to be careful about underestimating, these nations, because this is 2026. And a lot of these nations are highly more advanced than what they were just 10 years ago. You can't say what nations can do now. You see, so if Pakistan got nuclear weapons, and they can barely feed their damn people over there. You see what I'm saying? Pakistan, them people can barely eat, but they got nuclear bombs. You see, you got India got nuclear bombs, and India is advancing, but they got some problems over there too. You see, they got some problems over there too. So a lot of them got nuclear bombs, and they don't even have infrastructure for real. So you can't say what a nation has and what a nation don't have. Don't never underestimate your enemy. You always, had that, understanding that it's a possibility, that Iran just might, and they ain't over there for no reason. Because the thing is, when I look at it, when you think about Iraq, when they went into Iraq, they knew they was gonna rob Saddam Hussein. They wasn't just going in there for nothing. They was over there for 15, 20 years. They was milking the hell out of the oil. You see what I'm saying? They were just all kind of oil was leaking up out of there, coming towards the Western powers, and they had robbed Saddam Hussein of mansions and probably got billions and billions and billions of dollars from over there from Saddam Hussein. So they knew that they was gonna rob them. They knew they was gonna rob Afghanistan too when they went over there. They didn't just go over there and just sit over there. They was over there growing all type of opium and all of that. That's what they was doing over there in Afghanistan. Soon as the United States went into Afghanistan, it became the number one opium growing nation on the planet. While the Taliban was in power, they wasn't growing no opium. But then when the United States and them got over there in Afghanistan, all type opium fields and everything. So they was over there using and growing all type of opium and everything. And so it's just sad to say, that it's a lot of fiends out here, rich fiends and fiends in power, and they love that opium. So they was in Afghanistan getting opium. They was in Iraq getting oil. And Saddam Hussein's his money, his treasures that he had hid, and everything else. So, but when you look at Iran, they ain't got, what did they get from over there? They ain't got nothing. They didn't get no oil. So what did they go over there for? And so that makes me believe that more likely they was trying to get a bomb, because you ain't just gonna bomb no and don't get nothing out of it. You know what I'm saying? Either you gonna get some of their oil. You understand? You got to get something. You ain't gonna you got to get something. Either you're gonna get some oil, but to go over there and bomb and walk away with nothing, more than likely they was on trying to get the bomb. They was close to get, because they said that's where they headed. That's what they said. Iran is saying that they're gonna free the world. You understand what I'm saying? That they're gonna be the Islamic capital, the leader of the world, of the new global Islamic world that's gonna come. You understand? And that they're gonna pop it off. That's what they said. That's in their ideology, that they're going to pop it off. They want to pop it off. You see, they say they're going to bring so much fire on the planet till the Mahdi come, that they're Mahdi, so they want to set it off. So you got to understand, when you get ideologies like this, you got to know that these is, they about their life. Hold on, let me get over here. And yeah. Yeah, and the crazy thing is, man, I was watching, and y'all can watch this documentary too. It's called The Caliph. It's called The Caliph. And it talks about Islam as it in the beginning, and then it talks about all the, because the Caliph is the successor. He's the successor of Muhammad. And it talks about all the caliphs from the very first caliph, Abu Bakr, Al Sadiq, and then you had Omar, then you had Uthman, and then you had, I believe it was Ali, who was a cousin and son-in-law of Muhammad. But anyway, when you watch this documentary, yeah. Yeah, when you watch this documentary, you will see that every caliph, it seemed to me like not one of them died of old age. Every caliph was assassinated. Every caliph, from the very first, I believe from Abu Bakr, he was the first caliph, he was killed. Omar was killed. Uthman was killed. Ali was killed. Man, oh man, all the way to the damn end. Almost they were killed. It's called The Caliph. It was a documentary done on Al Jazeera. All you had to do is put in Caliph. Yep. Put that in there on YouTube and watch it. I think it's a 4-part series. But yeah, but it just show you they not. And so when you, I mean, they don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? They don't give a damn about that type of lifestyle. So that's what you have to understand that they gonna want some get back. But anyway, they say that Iran vows to set fire to American troops if they go in there. And see, the thing is, if they decide to go in there, they cannot be playing. That's just all it is to it. It is, and I don't know what they intend to do, because if what do they think they're gonna take that island? What is it, Karg Island, and that they ain't gonna bomb the hell out of it? That's where they oil is. So I don't know if they'll bomb it or not. I don't know if they'll bomb it or not. But you see, you can't go over there playing. That's all I can tell you. If they go in there, they're gonna have to go in there ready to destroy everything. That's the only way they could go in there. There's no other way to go in. You're not playing with, Iran is even more treacherous than Iraq. So you can't go over there playing no game. So anyway, family, get over there to Patreon. We're gonna take it a step deeper. We're gonna get off into some things that too raw for YouTube. Click the link at the top of the chat, man, and we're gonna get busy tonight. You see, we're gonna break this down for the family out there, so you could be a way ahead of the game. Don't be emotional, be strategic. This is General Sarah said. He said, hey, arm yourself with knowledge, bang on the wicked beast, daily liberation through African education and confrontation. Boom, Black Power.